Welcome back, everyone. So today we're going to take a look at the ambush missions. I had previously recorded quite a bit of this while I was leveling it up, but I've also learned quite a bit since then. So I want to cover, there's really two routes for the ambush missions. I think a lot of people don't realize this. So there's actually a rep component and a grinding component towards the Foxwell enforcement. That's going to be more or less the lawful version. This is where you're going to be able to pick up the mercenary scripts when you're completing the missions, and it just progresses through this particular lineup, starting at applicant and working your way up through the elite security contractor. I'm not sure if a lot of people have gotten this far. This is the only part you would need to get the highest, like used to be the Idris, but now it's a Polaris mission. Additionally, there's a headhunters option. This is actually the route I originally ranked up, not knowing that there was actually a lawful version. So you can see I have a different, it doesn't really increase my actual headhunters rep too much. It doesn't actually at all. And so any neutral I have here is based off of other content. But the ambush side, this is the left-hand side is the part that you would be looking for. And this rank 5 mission, again, is the one that would unlock. Now it unlocks the Polaris, but previously it was the elite mission for the Idris. So if you go to contracts, if it'll load for me. Oh, it's under offers, that's why. So under mercenaries is where you're going to find the missions. However, there's two variants again. So first, again, the Foxwell is going to be under just standard mercenaries. Now, obviously, I have other content here that I've created, including the different scenarios for the combat gauntlet for the ghillie trainings, but that's not what you want to focus on. What you're looking for is the different surprise attack options. So the yellow contract is one of them, and then there's also going to be yellow contract routine patrol. Routine patrol. We'll look at that later on as well. But really, what you're looking for is the surprise attack. There's also spring a trap, which is the next level above that. So you're just going to continue to work your way up these different yellow and orange different contracts to work your way up to higher difficulties. Now on the other side, sorry, I thought there was a 20k as well. So here's the orange level contract, return the favor. This is also, so really the format you're looking for is it mentioning the ship and then it being around an asteroid mining base. So those are going to be largely what you're looking for. When you're looking for these contracts, just take a look. It should indicate it's a trap of some sort, and it should tell you the ship that you're going to be fighting, as well as, again, that's going to be an asteroid base. All of these are going to look very similar. So if you see the ship being listed and that it's at an asteroid mining base, that's how you know it's going to be an ambush mission. If you go to unverified, you'll find actually the same kind of things. Now this is the headhunter side. So the elite op is a good example here, and a lot of these are up towards the top. So it's going to start with a surprise attack, and you'll see it's going to be fighting a titan. It's still in the similar kind of layout as far as the text details. A silent strike is the next one up. You'll be fighting a 315 P, and then you have asteroid base. Ambush is the next step, and then reprisal attack is going to be the next step after that, and then finally it works its way up to elite op. There's additionally possibly another level above that. I just haven't unlocked it yet. So that's what the missions are going to look like. You're just going to pick up the mission, and from there, I'm going to go ahead and do one of the lawful ones. So I'll start with the entry-level mission side on the surprise attack on this particular side. And you can do this around any of the particular planets. I happen to be around Crusader, so this is where I'm going to be starting at, and we'll head off to, and I'll see you guys on the other side once we get. So once you get to the quantum marker, you're going to want to go ahead and make your way towards the base. It should pretty quickly turn into, oh, they changed it to a mission cloud. So it's probably good that I went ahead and waited for this. All my other ones just say like beacon point or something like that. Use your radar, just make sure that you're coming in. You don't have to be in a stealth ship. I know that rock was spicy. Now, the first thing I want to really note as a first tip is really slow down, at least your first go around, because you don't want your rep, at least from the headhunter standpoint, to go negative. See this kind of gaseous cloud? They also didn't have this initially, or at least it wasn't working graphically. You can see I have 1:30 left, so just take your time. If you want to drop your landing gear or use precise mode, whatever you want to do, you want to make sure that you're at about the exact marker.
Now all we have to do is wait for them to show up.
Okay, so you heard him let me know that I'm in the right spot. So from there, just go ahead and you can stop your ship holding X, if that's your keybind, and then go ahead and turn the power off of your ship. So from there, you're just going to wait a minute. So it seems a bit strange, but that's really how this goes. And you can see I'm in the, whatever this cloud is. It's electromagnetic. You'll actually see here in a minute that it's like an EM signature. It's just a signature blocking cloud, right? Really the challenge here is if you're not quite in the right spot, and he will kind of let you know once you're in the spot, then you want to shut it off and try to stop because you could fail the mission otherwise. So take a second. Now I've completed it. So now you do want to note the next part is going to be important. So you can turn your ship on. If you want to, leave it off. That's also fine. If you have a smaller ship, it's not as punishing. But if you're in a big ship, right, because you can fit a Polaris and stuff like that in this spot, you want to turn your ship on so you start to get your shields back up. But really the key here is you don't want to turn the engine on. You don't want to move because you're meant to hold position. So if I scan right now, I might see a contact. In this case, I don't. So you usually would get a red arrow for the escorting craft because usually there's 2 craft with these missions.
Scans
But you don't want
outlaws inbound.
Okay, so now I'm free to move. Now you can turn your engine on and you're good to go. Don't move before that part because it will fail the mission. I wish they'll rework this. I don't know if they will or not. All right, so just make your way to the target and you're gonna kill him.
Okay.
I don't know what he's shooting at. Another ship, I guess. Oh. There's like 2 missions out here right now, I think. That's funny. All right. Just be mindful of the asteroids around here. So, I mean, from that part, it's a little bit of a more difficult mission. Yeah, there's straight up somebody outside here, which is kind of funny to me. I don't. That's different. Like I don't usually even see anybody else. To be honest, there's been a couple times I've come out here and I've seen somebody else do a mission, but I haven't seen anybody actively doing a mission. So I think that's funny. It could be because there's a wider release now. That's it.
It would tough, but you would suffer.
Yeah. All right. I don't know what that guy's on about. What's else is that? Oh, there's a Firebird fighting. All right. So this Firebird is a part of my mission, so I'm just gonna kill it. Leave my friend alone. All right. And then you can see here, you get a reward. Now it's going to ask you to retrieve these. These are your scripts, so be mindful of that. You need to wait for those to come in because they're going to ask you to retrieve those. Now, you don't get them in your inventory now. They're going to show up at your home base. So in my case, I started at Orison, so I just need to go to Orison in order to retrieve those, and I can just pull them through. You don't need to do the elevator. You can just go to your inventory, and you'll find them there. And the mission itself will tell you how many scripts you're going to get for each one. So that's about it. You're just gonna work those through the different levels, and as you unlock the different brackets, it's kind of like bounty hunting missions. The same thing on the unlawful side. I'll just take one on just to kind of prove the point. Now, so here's the problem I have with these missions. At the asteroid bases, you're not gonna find the mission again. So what you're gonna have to do is go back towards either one of the outlying planets or your original destination. So I'm gonna go back towards Orison, because that's my closest point. I'm so used to going to ArcCorp. I did grind this out in ArcCorp. Again, it doesn't really matter. That's not really the point. The other problem I have with these, because there's so many clusters, is like getting back to the home planet. In some cases, you might be close. Oh, those are spicy. You might be close to. I'm just gonna put it in my radar. You might be close to another planet like Yella or something like that. That's also or a moon. That's also fine as well. You just need to make your way back to the main system. So whether you get back to a satellite orbiting body, whether it's a moon, I think those are all considered moons. Whether you get back to the moon or the main planet itself, then you'll be able to see the missions come back up again. But that's it. I mean, if that's all you wanted the guide for, I'm pretty much done. I'm going to go ahead and show the unlawful variant where you're using against the headhunters, but it plays out the same way. I don't notice there's currently no crime stats associated with that. I kind of thought maybe I would get a crime stat associated with that, but that's not the case. So I'll go ahead and show you that I get the mission back once you get close to Crusader, and then I will jump out there and I'll probably cut quite a bit of that just because I don't want to just show that all again. But when you go in here, once you're back to Crusader, you can see the mercenary missions are back again, including I hope the gauntlet scenarios, I hope they come out with a separate row for the ambush missions as well as the escorts as well. So I'll take a pretty low level one here as well. I'll take I might could take a 315p. I don't know. I mean, it's just easier. Like, I'd rather be in a Connie or something like that if I'm going to take some of the bigger ships. Later today, I want to take the Retaliator, and I think I'll just start torping stuff. So, yep, just go to Unverified. You'll also get a location to go to. You will need to turn your drive on and off again to get the quantum beacon to work. Otherwise, you won't get the quantum beacon working. So these are just the little tips. I've worked through this quite a bit, and so I just have to get used to. All right, so I will cut.
Make sure we're not bothered while we're working.
All right, so like I mentioned before, you're just going to go to the location, and you want to hold position. So you can kind of look around, but you can't actually put any thrust, and you can also scan. See if I see. Okay, yeah, see, this time I actually see a red target. I typically, like, if you have missiles and you target that person, you would fail the mission, but you can target them without missiles up because it doesn't, like, initiate a lock. But you can kind of look around. I wouldn't do too much. Don't be too extra. Additionally, do note that I'm actually in, like, the middle of the main asteroid belt in here, so sometimes it's just outside of an asteroid itself. Sometimes you're going to be in the main asteroid area. But it'll always mark it as a yellow target, so just be mindful of that. And I'm just going to work my way out of here without dying. Also, sometimes when I'm in that main area, initially when I started doing this, sometimes the target would, like, come towards me and then run into, and then just die. So there's a chance they potato out and, like, end up, suiciding, kamikazing themselves, but most times that's not the case. Interesting, this target's not red at all. Okay, you should be good. Oh, I did not get my flares out in time. I'm gonna kill the off target here. Just find it to be the bigger threat. I don't know if I got those flares off in time. I think it was 3 to flare, and I kind of held it a little bit long. I think I might have got some, but not all of the torpedo, or all the missiles, so. And do note that I have found some loot here, so it's kind of like the bounty hunting mission in that regard, but it's usually not, I haven't found any very good loot, so. And because this isn't criminal, so it's not it's kind of like a Vaughn. It's interesting that these are kind of like Vaughn versus bounty hunting, but not really, because Vaughn, at least you get an associated crime stat, so this isn't the case here with these, so it just happens to be different kind of script, but you don't, as you see, I didn't go to crime stat from doing the bounty hunter for headhunters. That's it. So now you see I'm gonna get 3 rewards again, much like the other one, and you can tell it goes to the freight elevator, but you have to still accept. I don't know what happens if I've accidentally hit the other button to, like, not accept, but there we go. Additionally, if you do fail, last tip, I guess, if you fail this mission on the headhunter side, your non-eligible will become the case. So, like, you will become uneligible to actually complete the mission. So if you tried this the first time and you fail that mission, you will lose the access to these missions. So what you need to do is you need to go to Pyro, or you need to get Headhunter Rep. So I can't really show it here, but on the Pyro side, you can go to take a look at my other guide that I just released around the different missions around Outpost. You can go ahead and do some of the missions at the Outpost there, like delivery missions and things of that nature for the Headhunters, and then you should be able to, again, get access to do these missions. So it's a non-issue. I think you're going to lose rep if you lose these missions, but it's kind of a non-issue if you really start to do a bunch of these. Once you do 10 and you fail one of them, the rep hit is not going to be a big enough deal. Now, if you're doing the very first mission and you fail that mission, it's a big deal because you just lose access to the missions altogether. So just be mindful of that. But yeah, both of these two, there doesn't seem to be a pro or con currently to doing these missions. Like, I don't lose out on, I'm not getting a crime stat. I don't lose out in the ability to do Foxwells. Like, I'm not losing this rep while doing this rep. So I really appreciate that about the game. But again, it's also dual rep that you have to farm. But when I was doing the Idris stuff, I had access to the Idris on both sides. Actually, I didn't have access to the Idris to both sides, but you could do that if you wanted to fight a Polaris. You could, if you get both these up high enough. Additionally, if you go to another section, like if I go from here to R-Corp, then I get access to the same missions over on that side. So if I can get a Polaris on this side and steal it, I would want to keep that mission and go to, let's say, R-Corp after coming from Crusader, and then you can do the same mission on that side. And the money's pretty good. As I showed before, the higher one I have is, I'm not here, because just know that the money's pretty good. At the top end, that mission is worth 200K. So anyways, thank you all for checking the video. I appreciate those taking time to watch and like and subscribe. I'll catch y'all next time.